Oh, hello? Sans audio is wild. What's up, Athelius? You should have been here earlier, Athelius. There was so much damn people. But I accidentally fucked up and left my computer out of the charger, so yeah, that's my problem. That's my problem. That's just my problem. Problem. Is my is my chat still going though? Do you still see me on live on Twitch? Oh my god. Yeah, there's still 47. Wow, there's still 47 people waiting for me on Twitch. Wow. And my chat is flooding back up here. Why is the camera so slow? The latency is like so slow. I'm not even seeing myself like that quickly. Oh, probably because my phone needs to be put in the charger. Hey. Maybe my phone just needs to be put in the charger. Is that better? Nah, the video's still. Is the video going slow for y'all? The Canadian internet, don't kill me. My internet was perfect all day. My internet was actually perfect all day. What do you mean the Canadian internet? My internet was perfect all damn day. Anyways, it's nice to see everybody in the chat again. Are my words lining up with the stream? It's nice to see you again, Julian, Steve. Nice to see you, Positive. Positive made my Minecraft skin. Someone said, yeah, it's choppy. Okay, now it's better, right? Now it's like 100% good. The video should not be lagging anymore. If the video is still lagging, I'm sad. But yeah, we got our last helper of the day, Lost Futures, up in a little bit. In like 3 minutes. I just want to read out some of the donations. There were some. The last two, oh, $10 and $10 from Anonymous and $25 from Anonymous. Thank you. We're now at 3,200 on the stream. I think it disappears every 10 hours. That's what happened with Noah. That sucks. That actually sucks. That sucks. That sucks real bad. I should have talked to Noah about this. I should have found a way to get around this somehow. Anyways. Let's head to the next person on the stream, Lost Futures. Can you... Wait, I'm not in the interview room. Yo, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Lost Futures?
Hey, can you hear me?
I could hear you. Can chat hear Lost Futures?
What? Yo, chat. What's up? I was trying to take over the stream, but I guess I was muted.
Yeah, that was
Your
definitely
audio was-
definitely my fault. Definitely my
No,
fault.
no, it's all good. It's all good.
Throwing this on Discord, trying to find the interview room. Okay, there we go. Now it's pristine.
Nice.
Okay. We doing a faceless stream today?
Yeah. No. Sorry. I
No, all
forgot
good,
to
all good. It's fine.
hook up my webcam.
Mm.
You can legit play Minecraft. if you want.
Oh, I only got the damn Java version, so it's a little sad. I can't really play unless you're on my. I figured that out today. I can't play unless you're on the same whatchamacallit, the same LAN network as me, which
Oh
sucks.
no, I'm saying like you by yourself.
Oh, oh, word, word, word. Honestly, I'm a little too tired. I'm a little too tired for that. I'm a little too tired for that. I just want to talk One Piece or something. Like how have you been though?
Me?
Yeah.
I've been I've been good,
Mm.
you know. Well, I mean, I've been lost, but that's just typical with my channel. You know, it's like, where do we go next? Where do we go next? What do we do next? What do we talk about next? And it's
Mm-hmm.
like, I've I have no idea. I have no.
Mm-hmm. 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 No, that makes sense, especially with how much you can cover in the modern day with your political channel. But there's a lot. There's a lot,
Yeah,
honestly. There's a
yeah.
lot.
There's
Um, Let me make sure the camera's okay. Okay,
yeah.
yeah,
So
but I'm saying there's a lot. I really, for the people that don't know who Lost Futures is, Lost Futures makes really good video essays content on the, YouTube channel, the YouTube stuff, and they're a real good friend of mine. Sad that they haven't been. It's honestly a little bit of my fault that they haven't been on the channel yet, but it's nice to have them here right now, as it is. Uh, yeah. What have you been reading the new One Piece? Watching the new One Piece?
I've been reading and watching. I had actually watched from episode one to the newest episode. I caught up this week, and
Damn.
it's wild. It's wild how the animation changes, how the pacing changes. You know, like you could tell when they're like, okay, we got so much money here.
Hmm.
Let's just not do those filler recaps anymore and just, catch up right where it's supposed to start in the manga. And I'm like,
Hmm.
oh wow, they actually did that in Water 7 and its lobby. You know, they didn't recap. They didn't recap at all. They're just like, yeah, this is what the fans want. We got the money. We don't have to recap. Let's go. But
Hmm.
yeah, I'm all caught up. I've been itching to make a One Piece video, but you know, it's a big series.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, what would you even make it on if you were to make it on your
Oh man.
rewatch?
For me, it would be like a really hot video calling out the One Piece community
Ooh.
for their lack of discussion of politics, genocide, colonialism, a lot of stuff they just skim over and they're like, okay, here's this theory about rocks. This is what everyone's talking about nowadays. You know, rocks.
Hmm.
What is rocks? You know, it's like, bro, what are you guys even doing? The Kuma flashback is on right now, and you guys
Yeah.
are theorizing about rocks? Like really?
I'm not
Really?
gonna lie, the power scaling community or the power scaling aspect of One Piece in and of itself or anime as a whole sometimes takes over the fantasy of or the fantasy of imagining new worlds, you know what I mean? Because everyone wants to just know, oh, who's the next strongest new guy? Who's the next strongest new guy? Because
Yeah.
One Piece is really good with progression, specifically in extensive power. But then the community feeds way too into that, and
Yeah.
it's like, nah, this is not what it's about. This is not what like, yeah. We gotta collect ourselves. Who would it be
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
if I were to
I
ask?
think what bugs me about the power scalers. Oh, who would it be? Oh, I haven't looked that deeply into my target. I used
Mm,
to watch all of the One Piece creators. I used to watch Rogers Base, Tekken,
mm.
all of them. I used to watch them daily. You know, like because they make slop. Like if you, I think back at it, of where
Yeah.
I stopped watching, they make slop. Like every single day they post a video on One Piece, and it's like great that you talk about all this, but like you're just wasting my time.
No, that makes sense
Is
because
what I
I
felt
used
back
to
then.
watch Tekken a lot too, and I had the same kind of grievances of like you talk. you talk a lot about the like chapter to chapter, like it's really good coverage because they'll remember a lot. You know what I mean? But then they never tie it
Yeah.
into an overarching narrative of liberation. And I'm guessing that's where you're going with that.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. No, I watched this guy called Big Dad. Big Dad made a video exposing the One Piece community.
Mm.
And ever since I watched their video, I've been itching to jump in because, like their perspective on Fezza and Sudan is kind of like they don't know a lot, but they're still talking and calling people out. So I want to jump in there and be like, okay, here's the clear connection. Here's it being, talked about in more depth. And I kind of do that with both of my videos on One Piece. Like the video on colonization and the video on liberation, but not on the video on like I want to make a personal video that talks about the politics of One Piece. And it's like I think like you had an idea of making a video like that
Yeah, I
floating
did.
around
I
a
had
few
an
months
idea
back.
too called One Piece is Political, and I was just gonna go arc by arc. But then I realized arc by arc is an hour long video essay in itself. You know, like every arc deserves
Yeah.
an hour long video essay in and of itself. And you were even introducing me to
Yeah.
new things specifically with the Fishman Island arc because I was gonna tackle that, but then you
Yeah.
were like, oh no, they kind of tackle the aspect of liberation poorly, and then I was like, I rewatched it. I did rewatch it. I
Yeah.
rewatched all the way to damn raw when they shoot the flag and then they go to Shadow Island. That's where I
Yeah,
stopped.
to the dark. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But my rewatch of Fishman Island, I was like, man, what are you doing, Oda? What are you saying? Like, when he shows the fisherman pirates going out on sea and they're like, we don't kill anyone. We don't kill these Marines. We show mercy. And I'm like, bro, this is not how Black Liberation was in real life. You know,
hmm
like they're trying to enslave you. They're trying to, bring these fishermen back to their celestial dragon masters, and you're saying, "Yo, we don't kill anyone." Like, what,
hmm
what are you talking about? This, what is this
hmm
non-violence?
hmm hmm Yeah, Oda can. I don't want to bash Oda's pen, but Oda can teeter into a liberal thought process sometimes. Like sometimes, not gonna lie. But I'm happy
Yeah,
Luffy as a character on my rewatch. Luffy as a character has been consistent with the aspect of uh a violent means of liberation if need be.
yeah,
If
yeah,
need be. I haven't really seen any or I haven't really had much critiques about Luffy. Like immediately
yeah,
when he hears about what the people in Arlon Park were doing, he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna knock this dude out," like burst through the cage and everything. But
yeah,
in my in my opinion, revolving around the politic of the Straw Hats more so. I see them as sort of a liberatory like grassroots force that
yeah,
just acts on kind of a reactionary impulse in tandem with liberation, and that makes sense
yeah,
because when they're going to a lot of these things, the shock value is how people are being oppressed,
mhm,
right?
yeah,
Uh, you're like, oh, this is such a like when they go to let's say their initial before they all split up. If I'm not, I just don't want to spoil too much. But
yeah,
when they come back together on that island, and you know that the Kumas are shooting and everything, um,
yeah,
uh, they understand like the militarized state of like this kind of front for the government. You
yeah,
know what I mean? Like this area isn't like a really a civilian area. It's like a place where
yeah,
you got to get the fuck out if you're a pirate. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Or swing. And when Luffy saw that one dude, Luffy saw
Oh
that
yeah,
one dude enslaving, and he immediately swung on the celestial dragon. I was
yeah,
like, it's like yeah, because you don't get a lot
man.
of writing like that You don't get a lot
I
of
think
writing.
like I don't want to spoil either, but if you catch up to One Piece and you watch the Kuma flashback and you watch like Kuma's reaction, like I think Kuma's reaction kind of puts that moment in perspective, you know? Like a bit of spoilers, but for the Revolutionary Army itself, like Luffy is a guy who does stuff they would never consider trying to do. You know, like you don't like I don't think Dragon would ever go up to a celestial dragon and punch him in the face near right near their HQ. You know, like I don't think Dragon would do that. He wouldn't risk something like that.
Hmm.
But Luffy's like, fuck it. Like, you know,
Yeah.
come at me.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
Have you been watching anything new lately?
Oh man, I watched Lazarus.
Mm.
It's the newest version of Cowboy Bebop of 2024.
Ooh,
It's
Lazarus.
like
I haven't heard of that. Is it? Was it good?
Lazarus. It was really good. Oh man, I wanted more. It's only 12 episodes, and I was like, this should have been 24 episodes. Make it like Bebop. Give me some filler. I don't care if it's filler. Give me filler. But
Hmm.
it was so good, man. I don't know. It was like the way that I forgot what's his name. He's the director of Cowboy Bebop, Samurai Champloo. You know, he's like really famous of writing these kind of stories. But like the structure was like it just sucked me in. I'm like, man, I don't want this to end.
Hmm.
12
Hmm.
episodes is too short.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite arc in One Piece?
Oh man, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. I'd
No.
have to say no. I do. I'd have to say Wano. I think it's kind of
Mm.
like it's a hot one to choose. But I think one Wano or Enies Lobby, Water Seven. Those
Mm.
two are
Mm.
like when I go back, I'm like, okay, I want to watch these two, and the reason is because for Wano the art changes. You know, like it's like this. You have this like this standstill, post time script, yeah, post time skip kind of art that came in that was so flat, and it's like oh okay, I get it. You know, it's flat. You know that maybe they're trying to save budget here for from like Fishman Island to Dressrosa. You know, and
Hmm.
then Wano comes in and it's like it's so colorful. You got the flower blossoms. You got you know it's like oh my god they could actually animate this.
Hmm. Hmm.
but
And
but yeah,
it did feel like Dress Rosa in and of itself was whatchamacallit, they purposefully took out resources from Dress Rosa to go harder on Wano. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Because Dress
yeah,
Rosa is really badly paced, in my opinion. Like,
it's
it's
yeah, Dressrosa was such a huge drag.
hmm
It took it like I think like 3 years.
yeah,
I was in
yeah,
high school when Dressrosa aired, and I was like, when is this gonna ever end?
yeah. And it kind of stagnated One Piece too. Like One Piece in and of itself, it lost a lot of its hype in its Dress Rosa years. I remember, like that was the
Yeah.
years where everyone was memeing people telling others to watch One Piece in its entirety. Everyone was like, "Oh, we're gonna watch 1,000 episodes of this." You know what I mean?
Dressrosa right now is still a really good arc. I
Hmm.
think I watched the One Piece version, which cuts down all the filler and all the those like those side shots where they like you know go through each character and it's like a slideshow where they're like trying to save on animation. You know how they do that where they're like, okay, we can't animate right now. Let's just show pictures of these guys and the bird cage and whatnot. But
Yeah,
yeah, my rewatch of Dressrosa was like, I was like, wow, this is good. He actually did write a pretty good story, and I think there's like the difference between the manga and the anime, right? In the
hmm
manga, if you read Dressrosa, it's really good. Like, you know, yeah, it's long, but story wise, it's one of the crucial points where he's like, okay, this is how celestial dragons behave when they
yeah,
fall, but also, you know, what they want to reclaim when they fall. And I don't want to spoil, but I've been thinking about these fallen celestial dragons. You know,
Are you talking about Dofi?
yeah. I'm talking to. I don't want to spoil it. Yeah, but I'm talking about Doflamingo and somebody else.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because Dofi is one of the most interesting villains to me in extents to how he fathoms oppression and how he unleashes it out on the world. Because it's still in the same way, in the same carceral way, like someone from a higher
Yeah,
power would envision like a
yeah,
form of structure on his own citizens, all the way up to the cage. You know what I mean? I don't want to spoil too,
yeah,
but the way he had people working in factories, the way he had
yeah,
and it was over this neoliberal like idea of a society that everyone was like forced to smile in. You know what I mean? And
yeah, yeah.
I don't think that's spoiling too much. I don't think that's spoiling too much, but yeah, I really
No,
liked
no,
it.
no.
But one thing I hated though, Sabo's character. I love I loved the aspect of the foreshadowing of Sabo and everything.
Yeah,
Sabo's story and all that. But I just
yeah,
I hate how it happened, and then they just kind of revived that character in a Sabo form.
yeah, yeah.
And I get like
I
a lot
found
of
that
people
kind of.
take it. Oh, you first, you first.
Yeah, I found that kind of surprising of how he brought Sabo back. But at the same time, like if you read the chapter where they come back, you know, like the revival after post time skip, they show Ace's grave, right? And there's three cups, and there's the bottle of wine and the newspaper.
Mm.
Like he's basically telling you like, and then you know he's basically telling you someone's visited Sabo's grave, and then I don't know if he planned this. He probably did, honestly, but he was trying to like allude that Sabo visited Ace in that moment. Like he shows the flashback in Dressrosa that it was Sabo who put the three cups there, and the newspaper. You know, as like symbolisms that one might have died, but two are still alive, kind of thing. But I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know. Yeah.
I get that some people kind of take the metaphor of Sabo carrying on like some type of flame. that
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, like that's
But
I keep going.
no, I like that too, but it's also like what was Ace's will? Like I kind of just wish Ace had a bit more of a will. Like all he wanted to do was make Whitebeard king, but dude, you're the son of the Pirate King. You should be a bit more ambitious.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not gonna lie, Ace. I liked Ace's character for what it was, but I feel like there should have been more build up before. Actually, let me not say that because Ace's death is and that whole Impel Down arc. I think it's one of the best tragedies ever written in fiction. That's one of my hot
Yeah.
takes. That's one of my hot takes. I think it's one of the best tragedies ever written in fiction, all the way up to Luffy supposedly going to lose again and again and again and again, but coming back and back and back and back. Then you finally get to this
Yeah.
climax of, oh, Luffy, finally, and then no, you know what I mean? So I think to that extent, it kept me
Yeah.
hooked.
No. No. I think Ace was brilliantly written, right? Like I think like the entire tragedy of Bondi, Impel Down, and Marineford was like it was like, whoa man, you were definitely onto something with the writing Ace and capturing Ace and making Luffy go through all that. But then it's like maybe like my interpretation is that maybe he just wanted to show that Ace wasn't guilty. You know, like he didn't commit. any major crime like Luffy did, and yet he was being executed for carrying the blood of Roger. Like that very essence of like being fearful of the blood of the D, like I don't know if that's gonna sound weird, but like those who rebel, those who could rebel against the world, is like a foreshadow of what the celestial dragons, like the top five elders, kind of plan and scheme in the background.
Mm-hmm.
Like you gotta extinguish that fire before it actually like lights up and causes a revolution of some
Mm-hmm.
sort.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense. That makes sense. But I guess I just wish I saw more of Ace because
Yeah.
I feel like Ace had way more of a, like you said, with his will and everything. I feel like Ace had way more to show than he was just a, um, uh, courageous soul. Because how I was kind of seeing him like before this was just like the cooler, older brother of Luffy, and that was just like way stronger in like a million different ways and like way more capable. Especially with that first scene,
Yeah.
you see him. I don't even know if it's canon, but when he like backflips and like shoots like two boats down, like with his fingers.
That that has to be canon.
Yeah,
It is
yeah.
canon.
Yeah,
It,
but they're saying Ace in Alabasta isn't canon, and I have to reread it just so I.
oh no, the desert.
Mm,
When they go wandering in the desert and they meet the rebels, that's not canon. But
ah,
like when they meet him and they're in the ocean before they reach the river, that's canon. So like
okay,
there's like a
word,
chunk
word.
where it's just like in the manga they don't like adventure in the desert. They just go straight to the bounty hunter who's trying to
Mm.
like uh yeah.
No, that makes sense. That
Yeah.
makes sense. That makes sense. But in correlation with uh Ace, you could kind of see him like in the same model of a Luffy, like learning as he goes. But it's so interesting though because Ace was actually interacting with a lot of people from the 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 old structure of the pirates. Like Whitebeard, was
Yeah.
around and probably saw Luffy's dad in action a little bit. Probably
Yeah.
saw like a lot of these like major pirates being a member of Whitebeard's crew and everything. You don't think he would it's nice that he developed a sort of individual identity in tandem with liberation, aside from just forming this coalition of
Yeah.
familial pirates on Whitebeard's ship. But I wanted to see what that meant more. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, that aspect of liberation can mean so much things. You know what I mean? Of searching for liberation.
Yeah.
And I feel like it was just, but that might have been the metaphor too of like a lot of revolutionaries dreams are cut short, like you said, before it
Yeah.
fosters into a revolution. But I just wanted to see more of Ace. I just wanted to
Yeah,
see
no,
more
me
of
too,
Ace.
man.
Yeah.
Me too. Uh, I think for me, what I want to see is, well, I wanted to see. I know this is like big spoiler territory, but Whitebeard knew that there would be like a destined person that would come, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
Kaido, Rocks, all of them knew that somebody would eventually come and carry the will of history and cause a huge revolution. And in my eyes, he thought it was Ace. Like, for him, it was like, this is Roger's son. Roger's son could be the big upset that flips the entire world upside down. And
Mm-hmm.
like for him, saving Ace was part of that. Like he thought like, whatever the Navy does, I'm gonna crush it and save my son, save this person who has a flame fruit, right? Like he's literally fire,
Mm-hmm.
right? You
Mm-hmm.
know, but when they're fighting, he kind of recognizes and notices that it's not Ace. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's Luffy. You know, it's got to be Luffy, which
Mm-hmm.
is kind of funny that he noticed it faster than Kaido.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to spoil. I don't want to spoil Wano, but it's kind
Yeah.
of funny how like fast it registered with him, where he's like, okay, that's there he is. There he is running
Yeah.
around. We can't let
Yeah.
that guy die. And he orders his entire crew to like save Luffy
And I
because for
love.
him,
Oh, sorry.
no,
I'm
you
just
go.
saying I love the
No, you
the
go. You go.
the way Luffy like came back up, and then everyone's like, "We hear. Do you hear the drums of liberation?" Because drums are so powerful in extent of epigenetic trauma too, and the aspect of music and the way people
Yeah, yeah,
can viscerally react to certain sounds that they've since forgotten, like in community. Like dad my dad was really good with drumming, you know what I mean, and the drums
yeah.
were a really big part of Southern Sudanese community. And I love that line, like
Yeah.
do like when people allude like, do you hear the drums or the drums of liberation, I'm like, yeah, I'm like, fuck, like, yeah. What? Yeah. I'm like,
Oh man, I got, I got, I watched Gear 5. I got so hyped when I finally watched the episode. When I watched it this time, I was legit crying. I was like, "Holy shit!" They went over the top with this, and it was beautiful, man. But one thing that bothered me was that Luffy died. Luffy has almost died multiple times in this series. You know, like I was wondering, I was thinking like, if he's like Enel, you know how Enel when he dies, when Wiper kills his heart, you know, like back in Skypiea where Wiper like like rejects his heart and like makes it stop beating, and then Enno like revives himself by like making his heart beat with electricity. So I
yeah,
was thinking like Luffy's the same basically, but it's like it's rubber. Like once when he dies, he awakens with his actual powers. But then
yeah,
it's like Luffy's almost died like, like 10 times.
yeah. He
And
actually
I'm
has,
like,
yeah, yeah. Keep going.
yeah, he and like I was watching, I was like, oh man, okay, that crocodile killed him 100%. You know, the hook through his chest, 100% death. You know, like I don't know how you survive that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you
Mm-hmm.
got Akainu who just like blasted a hole on his chest, and he's dead like mentally too from Ace's death, right? You know, like I was like, okay, maybe it should have been here, but nah, nah. Somehow it's Kaido. Kaido's the one who actually somehow truly 100% killed Luffy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But Kaido was set up as
Yeah,
like the, well, I think
yeah,
not at this point anymore, because you can argue like rocks, and then after rocks, obviously there's gonna be somebody stronger than rocks. You could argue like a lot of people have been stronger than Kaido, and Kaido was kind of just like
yeah,
hyped up, but Kaido was hyped up to be the strongest in the series, you know.
yeah,
So like, yeah, it was
yeah, yeah.
believable.
Now I think it's believable that he had the right to kind of kill Luffy. Um, I think there, if we're talking like power scaling, like legit powerful, more than Kaido, would be the five elders somehow. But I don't want to spoil Egghead, which is now airing. Like or maybe it's like there's something that could actually beat the five elders that Kaido has that Luffy doesn't. You know, I don't want to talk power scaling,
Yeah, I
but
don't
I've
want
been
to
thinking
talk
about
power
it since I watched the
power
anime.
scaling too. It gets too, because Oda knows what he's doing. Like Oda knows how to trick people. Like, because for the
Yeah,
strongest, I mean for the longest time, you were like, oh,
yeah,
Arlong's the strongest pirate. Then it's like, no, damn, who's that dude? Mihawk is the strongest pirate. Then it's like, no, not Mihawk's a fraud. Shank's the strongest pirate. Oh, well, Shank's a fraud. It's, you know what I mean? Like, Oda knows how to keep people in a loop,
no,
in a loop.
biggest fraud is apparently to the One Piece community is Dragon. Dragon's the true fraud who doesn't do anything. You know,
Mm-hmm.
the most hyped up man over Kaido. You know, the most wanted man in the entire world. Which like I'm like, man, like how big is this guy's bounty? Did he surpass Roger?
I'm so sad that Dragon and the Revolutionary, well, they might have played a bigger role like behind the scenes and we just haven't seen it. But I'm so sad that the Revolutionary Army hasn't played a bigger role in a continuum of the arcs. Maybe they're doing something else. You know what I'm saying? I'm never doubting Oda's pen. Like maybe they're actually fighting the
I think
Marines in a very meaningful way. You know what I mean?
I think
Keep going.
I think the end is gonna. I think the end has. You have to go to the what's it called? The Red Line place, Marijua,
Marie Joy,
like the
yeah.
Holy Land.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
think that's where the revolutionaries will play in. That's where they're gonna get their time to shine.
Hmm.
Because at the end of the day, once you find the One Piece, you gotta go take down the dragons, the celestial dragons. You know,
Hmm.
you got to go hunting for them to liberate the world.
Hmm. Hmm. And I was
Yeah,
really sad too
I
because
think
out of
that's where
the,
the story ends.
you know, that Deadly Seven that they were parroting when Luffy was on that island where he punched that celestial dragon. What was it called? The the evil new generation or something like the evil seven, the evil 11.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I was
the worst
really
generation.
sad that they did Kid like that because Kid was my favorite out of all them. Kid and Law were my
Oh
favorite.
really? I was sad Law got taken out,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
Kid, I was like, yeah, he just.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sorry, I was the number one kid hater. You know, uh, you can't just walk into Elbaf like that and be like, okay, let's take on Red Hair Shanks. Like, no, man, you gotta go still somewhere else and build an army and prep yourself,
For
you
real,
know, to to take on an emperor.
for real. Yeah, bro got his awakening and was
Yeah,
immediately like, yeah, let's find the strongest pirate. Like, like it was kind of funny. It was kind of funny how quick too, like how. But it gets me really hyped for
30 seconds
Shanks,
is all it took.
because I think Shanks will
Yeah,
eventually fight Luffy in some type of way. In some type of way.
yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They gotta fight.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I'm excited to write this next video. I've been kind of planning it for the past few months, but I don't know where I'm gonna take it or how it's gonna end. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm glad you're writing another One Piece video because I love your anime videos. If y'all haven't heard of Lost Futures anime videos go wild. Like I really love their practice videos specifically. My favorite one was the one the, shit, I got a little bit of a bias because I'm Sudanese. My favorite one was the one you just posted. But the one you did on the one where I first found you was the one you did on Attack on Titan and fascism, and it was real good. I think we could spoil because at this point, if you haven't watched Attack on Titan, you're not going to, right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Don't. I mean, I'd recommend you not watch it. You know,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
that big of a hater. You know. Um, yeah, it was. I can't watch those videos in my perspective because my audio editing has gotten way better. I can't watch those videos because the audio is so bad. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I started as a number one hater of Attack on Titan, and back then I didn't know what getting myself into. You know, when I made that first video, I was like, okay, let's just make it very professional. You know, let's just keep it dry about. We're talking about war crimes here, right? You know, committed in China and Southeast Asia. You know, let's keep it professional. And I wake up the next morning and I have like over 300 comments, and I'm like, oh shit,
Yeah.
what have I done?
You were like the only person I saw that correlated it to fascism, which was weird because I watched Attack on Titan and I was like, this feels weird. Like this feels like a very weird feels weird. Like this feels like a very weird conclusion to come to,
Yeah.
extensive of your own personal liberation. You know what I mean? But okay, how much people does the chat
Yeah.
care if we spoil? Does the chat care if we
You're
spoil?
cutting off a bit.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, it's all good.
Yeah, my whole never mind. My whole Wi-Fi just died for a second. The stream is reconnecting. We give it like 5 seconds. 5, 4. It's sending data. I was not accounting for when I was doing the 24/7 stream. I was not accounting for the fact that the stream may be buggy at times. Cause like why is
Yeah.
it doing this? Can you still hear us, chat?
Looks like chat is saying, "Go ahead and spoil."
Okay. So I don't like Aaron at all. I don't like Aaron's decisions at all. I don't like the way Aaron thinks about the world and coalition building at all. I don't like I just didn't like anything about Aaron's character when it comes to fathoming oppression. You know what I mean? And I don't even think it's a realistic way oppressed people fathom oppression. Like fathom the means of systemic institutionalization.
Yeah.
Like yeah, it was that. Let me not say. I'm not gonna say it was a cakewalk what happened to Aaron, right? Because
Yeah.
Aaron was literally just forced to live in this area that was purposefully blockaded from the rest of the world, and you know, just terrorized over and over again with these militaristic inventions made by what was that other country called?
Marley.
Marley, yeah, by Marley.
They're called Marley.
So I'm not saying Aaron had like a cakewalk and Aaron wasn't justified in his thought processes of rebelling against Marley, because like we live in the belly of the beast and we want to rebel against the belly of the beast even as it's destroying Gaza and things like that, right? Like I'm not saying like
Yeah.
it's not something that's human, but the fact that you want to take it so far that you're like the whole world has to die, like that's some loser shit. Like that's actually some like do you have friends? Like have you connected with more people? Have you realized that like the aspect of humanity in and of itself you know, teeters to love more often than not, like in tandem with community. Like I don't know, he was even looking at like a neo-colonial force, you could say, Mary Joy was like based on the global segregation of other states around it, with trade and everything.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that it's a bad thing to destroy that idea of a peace. I think it's a really good thing to destroy that idea of a peace, but to destroy an extensive genocide and all these people have to suffer the way I do in this very specific carceral way, when we have a way of going towards a hope, like Armin and Mikasa and all these other people were 9,000 times the thought leaders that Aaron was, 9,000 times the leader that Aaron was. And I know that like the author also kind of said at the end, yeah, Aaron's stupid, and Aaron even said himself like I'm a dumbass at the end or whatever, but too little too late, like too little too late,
Man,
like
what the fuck are you doing there?
yeah, like too little too late, too little too late, and then conjoining it in a story because the aspect of an indigenous identity or a replicable form of community that was separate from fascism. That narrative literally didn't exist. It was literally just fascism all the way through in a through line. You know what I mean? And I find that very interesting in an author's decision of not being able to imagine a world outside of fascism, not being able to imagine extensive communal love or solidarity or anything like that, and resorting right to yeah, we had to genocide them the way they genocided us. Like that's I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know. You have more thoughts on that too. You have more thoughts on that too.
I'm actually super grateful for Aronnax News video about Death of the Author because
Mm-hmm.
I get comments every single day, to this day, really, like to this day, that say, "How dare you insult Isayama? How dare you go after Isayama? How dare you, you know, take this creator of this manga who personally drew these images, wrote these words, and criticize him. It's like what are you guys on? He purposely did this. How can I not criticize him? How can I not, go after him and be like, yo, you're ripping off Japanese fascism here,
Yeah,
and you're
exactly.
showing the essential fears that some Japanese people today fear with China, North Korea, and other people who they have colonized, who they have like massacred and committed war crimes and experimental war crimes. Like I forgot what it was, experiment 911 or something in China, in Manchuria. It's like that fear of retribution from the the mainland, right? Like, Parody is an island. It's locked off and isolated from the world, and yet there's this fear that the mainland will come and get their revenge against this island. And it's like what's your solution? What's your solution? You want to militarize Japan again? And okay, sure, protect your borders. Good for you. That's good. I don't have a problem with that, right? If China comes at you, North Korea comes at you, all right, right? Defend your borders. But to then be like, no, that's not enough. Liberation isn't enough. What is enough is to completely re-genocide the rest of the main continent. Like those people should not. The threat of those people should not exist. For the threat to be erased completely, we have to go on in like a genocide campaign to erase this threat. And
Mm-hmm. And then it
a lot of
also.
people.
Oh,
Nah,
sorry.
you
Keep
go, you go.
going. I
No, you go, you go.
I was gonna say it also fucks up like a lot of stories in tandem of that Pacific coast area with like Korea and the justification of invading and colonizing and killing all those Korean citizens and then I was reading I was watching Ranking of Kings, and somebody I watched made a really good point about how Ranking of Kings also does the same thing with the erasure of Korean stories by saying, "Oh, well, Japanese modernized Korea," or I mean, or sorry, Japan modernized Korea. So why was Korea so ungrateful? You know what I mean? Or
Yeah, yeah,
Japan, yeah, yeah, Japan did this to the world, or Japan did this to the world. When in actuality, fascism and genocide does not solve issues. It's the root of issues, and it's the root of stories that are erased, and it's why people can't imagine new worlds and exist in systems of individual identity, like Japan, and things like that. And
yeah.
the fact of the matter is, I've been reading a lot about the Pacific coast over there and the militarization of Japan. There were a lot of Japanese leftists who fought back against fascism very
Yeah,
violently,
yeah, there
and
were. A lot of them were imprisoned, tortured, and killed. Like their writing, like this is like Japan has a big problem with erasing records. Like they did this with the Americans, where they were like, okay, we committed experiments in Manchuria. What do we do with these, crimes, like the records of genocide? We just erase them, Um, and then the same thing is with the ratings of these leftists. Like the only surviving rating that I found was Tosaka Jun on his ratings of Japanism. But like I tried to look harder and find something that was in relation at the time, talking about Japan's history, like the belly of the beast inside the empire at the time of its colonization. And it it was tough to find like primary records of that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, yeah,
Someone
and
said, I mean, think of
even
actual Japan in World War II, then AOT makes sense. Yeah, that's exactly the point that we're trying to make to that they can't you can't imagine a world outside. If you can't imagine a world outside of fascism, you're a fascist. You know what I mean? Like if you can't imagine a reality where communal solidarity is present, where indigenous rights
yeah,
are recognized, where people are not dehumanized and actually treated as people, you're a fascist in and of itself. And someone also earlier said it's a colonialist idea of destroying colonialism. And yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah, no, 100%.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think the comment on Attack on Titan is Japan after World War II is reasonable how Isayama sees it, because if you think about it, Japan after World War II got occupied by America, it got demilitarized, and as a Japanese person who is on the far right, they see themselves as weak, they see themselves as unable to fight, they see themselves as unable to defend their land from, and it's not from America, right? It's not from America. It's
Mm-hmm.
from China. It's from North Korea. Like two states who don't ever plan on invading Japan. But in their minds it's like, okay, we're so fucking weak. We can't fight anything right now. What do we do? How do we imagine a future? Right? And the anger is not directed at America. The anger is directed at the mainland, right? Those who
Mm-hmm.
could actually, those who in their minds are out for retribution. Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. It's so muddy. Like Attack on Titan is so muddy. A lot of people are like, no, no, that they're not Japanese. They're Jewish, you know, or they're German, And I'm like, yeah, you have a right to you're kind of right saying that, with the concentration camps and everything. Um, but at the same time, like, um, but at the same time, the model is so mixed. You have to kind of like strip one layer to uncover the next.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't.
like, like we said
It's
earlier,
fun
though,
talking
like
about it, but
the
like making a
timeline,
video on it is not fun.
the timeline that yeah, your video was amazing. Your video was amazing. But to add to that, and imagining new worlds, like I said earlier, the timeline in which fascistic thought is recognized is kept with you know European identities or colonial identities, and they'll allude to things like it's like if you tried to talk about the destruction of capitalism and then kept the timeline of a workers' movement, like specifically around King Leopold. Without talking about King Leopold's war
Mm,
crimes, without talking about the way King Leopold uh, like structurally demolished the Congo and the indigenous identity of the Congo and everything, and being like, oh well, this is the truth, and this will keep happening throughout time. All you're doing is creating a fertile grounds for continual occupation and that continual mindset of yes, this extraction colonial enterprise needs to keep existing. And then what do we end up with? The same new world 200 years later with the Congo still being oppressed. You know what I mean? With like even that
yeah, yeah.
oppression of Congo spreading to places like around it, like Sudan, and like not just Congo anymore. But the Congo wasn't always just. Let me not get to places like um, Congo wasn't always just. Let me not get too deep into the talk because I could do a whole rant. But the Congo's oppression wasn't always just the Congo. We know this as leftists. We also be called in its own ways. But in the new age of neocolonialism and the way we imagine new worlds, quote unquote, giving someone like Rwanda MS-23 and then being like, oh look, we created a state that's fastly developing in Africa. So there's this caveat of a fascistic ideal of
Yeah.
the West can give Africa a better story or something. You know what I mean? I feel like that carries on in the same
Yeah.
way an Attack on Titan does, with its extensive
Yeah.
fascism in the way it explores German identity or the way it explores Jewish identity or things like that without
Yeah. Yeah.
talking. Yeah,
Yeah. I don't
yeah.
know. I think the thing is that people really enjoy the anime. Like they don't feel kind of sick about it. Like when I watch it, Attack on Titan, I feel sick in the gut when I think about what he's trying to say. And you could kind of see it in the first chapter, like these bestial creatures breaking into the walls, into civilization, and trying to literally eat people, like
Mm-hmm.
this image of that those who are outside of the border, the uncivilized barbarians at the gates are out there to come into civilization and just eat you.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you do? What do you do with those enemies outside of the gate? You gotta exterminate them. You don't think about if they're human or not. No, of
Mm-hmm.
course not. You only think of they're human after you've exterminated them. After
Mm-hmm.
you write in the records and you're like, oh, there was once an indigenous population here, and they were very humane. Like that's how colonialists write their history.
Mm-hmm.
In the settler colonial time, no, the indigenous person is described as, and I'm sorry if this is like
No,
I should
keep
probably
going,
put like
keep
a fancy
going,
word,
keep going.
but they're dehumanized, right? It's like they're
Yeah,
they're animals, they're barbarians, they're people who should be left out of civilization.
exactly.
And so like that idea is right there. It's right there in the root. It's in chapter 1 where Aaron gets his mom eaten by a Titan. And it's like what are you trying to say here? Like what are you actually trying to say here, Isayama? Like where did this initial idea come from? Was it Evangelion? Was that what motivated you to make like big kaiju, like titans? But with the idea that there's always an enemy in the mind of a person. And
Mm-hmm.
what's interesting also is like who were the natives in Paradis? It's never discussed. Paradis is described as like just an empty land where the king just migrated and his people and the Eldians just migrated and the Titans, of course, migrated together and created these walls. But it's never spoken about like whose bones was the civilization crafted on. You
Mm-hmm.
know,
Mm-hmm.
like I don't know. There's like layers
Exactly.
here
No,
where
no,
you
no.
could
You're hitting it on the head. You're hitting it exactly on
where you
my
could delve
on
on.
the head. That was my biggest grievance with Attack on Titan watching it too. And you kind of brought it to light with your video. But now that I'm thinking about it more and more, I'm getting even more and more angry because I'm like, yeah, he 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 didn't. Like he purposefully didn't like think of new stories or purposely didn't incorporate like aspects of indigenous identity. He just went straight for nationalism, and he was like, oh well, all these nationalistic identities are tied intrinsically and they're just fated to eat each other again and again and again, and
Oh,
oppressing people is a reality of humanity. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
I think in my doomerism video I talk about this. You just reminded me. It's like modeled off a dog eat dog world, right? Where the strong survive and the weak get eaten. Like it's literally based off that fascist idea that
Mm-hmm.
like the weak have to be culled and killed by these titans. Those who survive, those who fight back, are the strong ones, are the ones who are worthy for the military. And the rest who get eaten are just, sacrificial pawns. And people who are so attached to the show get really mad at me. Like, they get mad at me for insulting Erwin. They get mad at me for insulting Eren. They get mad at me for, like making fun and criticizing these characters. And I'm like, bro, it's an anime. Like,
Yeah, for
like I
real.
have a right. I have a right to do this, first of all. But second of all, like, like you're getting really attached to these fascist characters, and it's kind of like when I read these comments, like I leave them. I don't read the comments in Attack on Titan for months on months. So like I come back and it's like chained comments of people who are like, am I blocked? Did he block me? Did he shadow ban me? Or they'll call me out. They're like, Lost Futures, reply to my comment. I wrote you an essay about all the characters and how and what it really means. And I come back to it like 6 months later, and I'm like, oh, hey, sorry, man.
You missed. No, my favorite thing after like reading those paragraphs is just to put like 0 out of 10 rage bait, or just like just rate it in the terms of, because I'm like, no way, like no way, no way, like, because there's actually I don't know fascistic thought processes in and of themselves. I get it, because we live in a Western world that's very individualistic inherently, so it can be hard to think of something outside of your settler colonial state, wherever you live, if it's Canada, if it's the United States, or whatever, because Canada has that problem in a lens of neoliberalism. It's definitely being penetrated. I find it more and more, especially with the releases or the leaks on the way Canada is fueling genocide, specifically in
Yeah.
Palestine, and the way people are more so rising up against it. Like I saw news stations reporting on it, where I was like, wow, like news stations
Yeah.
are reporting on this. Wow, that's
Yeah.
big. But that aspect of neoliberalism, or coddling the idea of Canada in a continuum, all it will do will foster people like a Mark Carney, who could hop in and release bill after bill that stomps on Indigenous land rights, or further entrenches people in poverty in Edmonton, in town housing. Whole
Yeah.
time, they don't know. The whole time they don't know this is happening, because everyone's smiling around them, and everyone's
Yeah.
like contempt with the ideal of the narrative of Canada, and the
Yeah.
aspect of community that we find here. So I'm not saying that it's not reasonable and extends to our own lived conditions, because it definitely is. Sadly, we live in deeply fascistic societies, but
Yeah.
we have to break out of a lot of those thought processes. And as a writer, with someone like with a series like Attack on Titan that's been so insanely popular,
Yeah.
that same thought process coming to light and then being solidified in a public zeitgeist, I just don't think it's a good thing. I don't think it's a good
Yeah.
thing at all.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
after I released my part two, I went on a stream. This was like right at the start of the genocide in Palestine, in Gaza.
Hmm.
And, I went on a live stream with I forgot his name, but anyways, um, and he was really nice. He was really kind. But he was also like, why did you go so hard on Isayama? Like he found it really weird that I would criticize the author. And I told him that if you're gonna write your manga with genocidal language and genocidal, imagery, you carry a responsibility for that, because there is a current genocide happening, and there was two at the time, but I didn't.
Exactly.
And I was telling him like what is being seen in Palestine and Sudan is happening in Gaza, is what
Hmm.
Sienna portrayed, and he had the responsibility to counter that. He had the responsibility to not, like show this fascist ideal brave imagery of Eren, doing his big march of genocide.
Hmm.
For me, he carried a huge responsibility in doing that, and he failed at it. So, I have, and many others should go after Isayama's throat, even if he apologized for it. Like I don't give a
Exactly.
shit if you say sorry for for writing about genocide. You had the responsibility because you had that readership of like 10 million people. I don't know the exact number, but it's a lot.
Hmm.
It's a lot of how many people read it and
I think it was the
uh,
most famous anime on release for a while. Actually, it was the most streamed. It was the most streamed. What was it? During quarantine, it was the most streamed show like in the world. I
yeah,
let me double check that because I don't want to give you all the wrong information.
yeah,
Yeah, it was the most streamed show in the world during the time of quarantine. So like you said, like you said, even the pretense to a conversation like this comes with recognizing that we are continually oppressing people in a settler colonial way, and the fact that you can't put that to to words and instead take an oppressed narrative and then shift it into cooperating or supporting genocide. That's so slimy to me. That's so
yeah,
slimy to me. Like I,
yeah.
I love a revolutionary story. Don't get me wrong. Like if Aaron did some different things, I think Attack on Titan was a really good written show. But just just I can't even it's
I think I think it's intentionally written with like doomerism in mind, right? Like
yeah.
that was my take in my on my video for doomerism. Like the
Mhm.
world is doomed. There's nothing you can do to change it. There's no revolutionary way to change it. The only way to change the world is to reset it to zero. How do you reset the world to zero? How do you do it, Isayama? How do you reset the world, your world to zero? You genocide 80 or
Yeah.
95% of the earth,
Yeah.
and it's like
it's not
holy
it's not seizing the
crap.
means of production. It's not intrinsically changing the systems around you to benefit the people in your area. Like Aaron looked at all that and he was like, nah, I just want to kill people. like like
Like I think FD is 100% right to say that Eren is like one of the biggest doomers out there, because
mhm.
he has some weird time traveling ability, right? And he was like at the end he tried Isayama was trying to explain it to the reader that Eren tried and looked for a solution. He jumped like 1,000, a million times, to try and find a solution, and the only solution he found, right? The only solution he discovered
Mhm.
was just mass genocide, you know?
Mhm.
And it's like, bro, bro, Isayama, I know you could be more creative than this,
Mhm.
like I know you're trying to pull an Evangelion here, but you're not like the creators of Evangelion.
Mhm.
Evangelion is like it's like a masterpiece. It's
Mhm.
fucked up, but it's like art wise and message wise, like it touches the soul and the heart of loneliness and being, and what it means to be yourself, and trans and gay and whatnot.
Mhm.
For Isayama, he was like, okay, I want to pull an Evangelion ending. I want to shock the reader like Evangelion. How do I do that? How do I do that? You do genocide. That's his solution. I don't know.
Mhm. Mhm. Hmm. And it's not so shocking when we see the real world effects of how genocides are wielded on oppressed people intrinsically, right? Like the aspect of revolutionary force, or the aspect of oppressed people taking strikes at their liberators are never applauded in a day-to-day setting. They're never applauded, right? Like we're always asked to condemn them. We're always asked to speak around them, to not talk about them, right? So
Yeah.
like you said, the creativity there is lacking, and people think creativity is just drawing, or just and it definitely is to that extent. But in a sense of story writing, creativity is also the way you build your
Yeah.
worlds, the
No.
way you make your characters, the way your characters interact with the world. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And there was no creativity with the diversity of opinions situated in Attack on Titan. It was just like,
Yeah.
oh no, Aaron's gonna do all this killing, reset the world to zero, and then Armin will carry on the legacy, and then eventually fascism will rise again, and then
Yeah.
cyclical. And I'm like, no, like no, 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 no. Well, yeah, it's
Oh man.
fuck.
Yeah. I've seen some videos pop up on my feed about how masterful the circular nature of Attack on Titans the story is, and I watched them, and I'm like, what the fuck are you going on about, man?
Yeah. Especially when you don't set up Armin as like a if you set up Armin as a neo like a neo colonist or a neoliberal then you might have written you might have written a good story about why fascism is bad, maybe. Like maybe
Yeah.
you'll talk about how a liberal party still upholds the same means of settler colonialism that a fascist does intrinsically, but you didn't do that. You just created this whole thing of the Jaegerists. You just created this whole thing of the fucking of splintered political parties that intrinsically need to be carried on by like a dominant strongman force that
Yeah.
that will impose its will on the rest of the world, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. People hate it when I compare Attack on Titan to One Piece. You know, they're like, how dare you compare this dark and moody and serious anime about genocide? You know, about a guy who wants to commit genocide, no matter what. From the beginning, he wants to exterminate all Titans. You know, that extermination that just goes outwards. You know, oh, the island is free. What do we? Where do we go next? We get, how do we attain our freedom? You know, he points across the ocean until all our enemies are dead, and it's like, bro, what are you talking about? You take that anime and compare it to One Piece. One Piece, Oda is like carefully building revolutionaries, fishmen. You know, the giants have their own plan.
Yeah,
Every
exactly. Like
every
everyone has
every
their.
island has.
Oh, sorry, keep going.
No, you go. You go.
You were gonna say the same thing I was gonna say, so keep going.
Yeah, every island, and a lot of them kind of unify with Luffy as well. But a lot like there's diversity in political thought of how to attain liberation, right? Like the fishermen themselves, even before Luffy came in, were thinking about how to, you know, attain their liberation from the Holy Land. You know, if you have Fisher Tiger or the king or whatnot, you know, you have Alabasta and the king there who's like who knows his ancestors left being a celestial dragon when the world government was founded. Like the dude knows that his ancestor willingly chose to leave those dragons behind, right? You know, even before Luffy steps into the story. And then you have Ohara with the scholars who are rebelling against the world with knowledge and scholarship, you know, who are saying like, no, history, we deserve to know the history of the past. We deserve to
Exactly.
know the genocides that you've committed.
Exactly.
You know, like
Exactly.
there are multiple genocides before Ohara, 100%. Like there are people in One Piece who have gone extinct because of Imu or whatever they're called, or the Five Elders, right? You know, and Oda like pieces all these stuff together, and he's like, okay, we're just building. We start with a guy with a straw hat and a small fishing boat, and we build up to a world of like mass political thought that is eventually going to rebel against the world government, and it might be too like naive and idealistic, but like at least the dude is like thinking and creating different ways of how the future can be, you know. Whereas Isayama was kind of like, okay, it's a dog eat dog world, and I don't know, maybe he was depressed when he first wrote it, and he was like, okay, we're kind of stuck on a trajectory here. We can't really change shit. I just want to keep shocking the audience. And he stated this in interviews where he kind of reflects back and he's like, I was taken by the popularity. I wanted to shock the audience. I wanted to show the audience and like keep them captivated and surprising them, you know, and then that eventually led to his first ending, which we don't know officially, but apparently everyone just dies. The world ends. That's it. The end. He just wanted to kill everyone and everything off. But his editors were like, bro, that's way too depressing. That's way too doomerist. We have to end this
Yeah.
without like killing everyone off. Like I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
There's a big difference between the two, and
No.
people come after me for making that comparison.
That definitely makes sense. That definitely makes sense. I'm not gonna lie though. I am incredibly tired. I am like just
Uh,
about to knock out. Do you have like,
I'll try and hop on in the next week earlier so we could chat about this.
yeah, if you can hop on earlier tomorrow, there's a lot of slots earlier tomorrow if you're available earlier tomorrow. But I
Yeah.
wait, let me check this. No, you're actually already on the spreadsheet for tomorrow. Never mind, never mind.
Now
Um,
I've been waiting for like bigger creators to jump on to fill in
mhm.
those timestamps,
All
and
the
also like a lot of people are informal. Like they just jump on the lounge and tell you that they're gonna hop on.
Yeah. If
But if
you
nobody's
hop on at the same time FD hops on, I would love us all to have a conversation about Attack on Titan or One Piece. Or because I want to introduce FD to the liberatory world of One Piece too, because that man needs to watch One Piece. Like
yeah.
yeah, that man is a little bit of a doomerist about anime, and I'm like, there's more, there's more, there's more. There's
He's
not
read
just
he's read too much Berserk.
yeah, yeah,
Like way too much Berserk.
yeah. And to be honest, Berserk is a good anime on its own, on its own.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there's definitely better anime for y'all to watch. There's more than Attack on Titan and My Hero Academia and propaganda ass anime and
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I'll hop on early and recommend some good anime that I watched this year. I watched some really good new animes that are inspirational.
All right, all right. And if y'all want to hear conversations like this, Lost Futures regularly has conversations like this on their channel. Lost Futures, I'll type it in the chat. Lost Futures is the YouTube channel. They're amazing, heavily underrated. They make really good praxis content too, around damn world issues. You got a whole PhD, don't you? At this point,
Nah, no, I
uh,
don't have. I mean, from the research I've committed on for my YouTube, yeah,
yeah, yeah, like,
I'm basically anything with war crimes. I'm on it.
but if you want to hear an informed voice from someone who actually reads, and someone who does have a a degree and knowledge of these fields, please tune on to Lost Futures because I realistically just rant. I don't have a PhD, so I'm not a central authority on all this and everything. Some things I say may be put to if you put them on in a flashlight or a microscope, sometimes I get things wrong. But Lost Futures is really good with the aspects of praxis when it comes to the conjured state of the Middle East, the states of North Africa, Central Africa, and its exploitation and all that. So I just wanted y'all to know that I learn a lot from Lost Futures. I learn a lot from Lost Futures' channel. It makes me go back, and he gives me a lot of good book recommendations here and there. So please tune into Lost Futures.
And please donate too.
Yeah, yeah, and please
Yeah, donate
donate.
as Terp sleeps.
Yeah, donate as I sleep. I'll catch you, fam. I'm about to hop off, about to hop into the street, the sleep
Oh yeah,
stream. Yeah,
nah, all good. All right, chat with you later.
yeah, I'll catch you, fam. That was Lost Futures, by the way. If y'all didn't know, that was Lost Futures. I said that a million times, but that was Lost Futures. Time to go back to the home base stream. I'm gonna damn sleep, guys. I'm gonna sleep, and hopefully I wake up to $1 million in donations. Hopefully I wake up to $1 million in donations. Thank you so much for staying with me, everyone. Oh, Adnan is asking for the Adnan. I'm gonna send it to your Adnan. Check your Discord. I'm gonna send it to your Discord. But yeah, thank you so much for talking with us this whole day. Everyone that lasted the whole day. Wow, like we had like 700 people peak on the stream, and it whittled all the way down to 100. But at the end of the day, we were expecting this. You know what I'm saying? We'll get like a whole bunch of people on tomorrow too. Hopefully, we'll get a whole influx of donations tomorrow too, and everything. We hit three. Let's go. Let's check to see what we hit. I need to see what we hit. What did we hit? What did we hit? We hit $3,300 on the first day. I was not expecting this. I was expecting like $1,000 on the first day. Thank you to the anonymous $25 who donated while me and Lost Futures were chatting. The chuffed page will still be live for the time being. I'm finna go to sleep. Damn. It was fun as hell. I hope y'all have a good night. I'll catch y'all. Uh, my studio thing will still be on for as long as possible, but I know that it times out after 10 hours, so it might time out while I'm sleeping. So I'm so sorry about that, but the camera's still gonna be on. This live is still gonna be on. So I'm so sorry about everyone who is gonna catch the stream and then just see me sleeping, but that's the reality. That's the damn reality. I'll catch y'all soon. I'll catch y'all tomorrow. This has been Turb. Let me change this text to sleeping, and then I'm gonna hop off. Properties. Sleeping. Yeah. Sleeping. Big love, Turb. Yeah, we got this tomorrow. Yeah, big love to Adnan. Big love to Adnan for keeping this whole thing on. Adnan is one of my favorite voices. Now a mod in this channel. Oh my god. I remember Adnan Bellamy and a bunch of those people back in the Debate Bros days. They were amazing streamers. I gotta tap back in with who was that? The white boy that was really good at. They were a paramedic, and they, oh, fuck, I'm forgetting their name. I used to watch their streams from time to time. They were a real good channel. But yeah, go to sleep. Go to sleep, guys. Go to damn sleep. And if you want, you could watch me sleep, which is weird, but that's how we gonna do this. And yeah, I'm going on mute now. Medkits 101. Yes, Medkits 101. They were an amazing, they're an amazing streamer too. I'll catch y'all in the morning. I'm going on mute now.